And one. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world when you're watching this. It brings me tremendous pleasure and joy to introduce one of my dear friends, Christine. My name is Jessica Corvo. Probably should have introduced myself. It's been a long day of celebrations and magic. And today, Christine is actually going to be talking about how to turn some of our passions into profits. So Christine is a business coach. So she helps people kind of figure out how to make their hobbies a part of their life and how they can pay their bills with it and how to just, like make it rain in a really good way. We love people that do that. We love people that simplify things. And a little bit about Christine is she is a transplant. She's from Tennessee, and we met looking for housing. One empowered woman to another empowered woman, and
Yes.
we just got together like peas and carrots ever since. And she has been such a delight and such an absolute joy to be able to exchange ideas with and obviously share space for International Women's Day. And so today the intention is to honor all of the strong females that I have in my world, and they've been so gracious to accept being complimented and allowing me to shed light on their gifts to the world, because I would like to share my community with you guys. So with all of that said, Christine is going to help us kind of understand what makes an idea, business worthy. How do we figure it out? What do we need to do? Who do we contact? What's the difference between, do we need to get legal advice? Do we need to, get a bookkeeper? I mean, when you're starting out, there's a lot of hidden costs that you don't always know about. So Christine's going to keep it real simple for us, and she's going to tell us what we need versus what we want. And then she's going to help us kind of carve like that path as easy as possible. And of course, it goes without saying that once you fall in love with her, which I know you will, then you're always welcome to contact her directly so she can help you actually set up your business. So with that said, Christine, thank you so much for being part of my celebration of sisterhood, and the floor is yours.
Wow, Jess, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone, all the beautiful aspiring entrepreneurs, small business owners, all the women that are women owned businesses. Hello. So, just like Jess said, I'm kind of nervous. I never talked in front of like a huge crowd of people. So, so I'm a small business owner. Just got to Chicago. Still trying to get familiar with the area, but it's okay. It's okay. But I do see a lot of businesses. I see a lot of opportunities. I'm hoping to provide my expertise, and as far as the business world goes, with business development, which is my specialty. And I'm here to just hopefully get to know everyone, all the new business owners who are thinking about trying to start a business in 2021 with COVID going on. It's crazy, but it is a way to do it. It's so much funding out there, so many ideas that you can come up with now to run a successful business. So I just hope that I can be a help to a lot of people out there, especially women. It's a lot of us, and we're conquering. We are rocking the world, and we are not giving up. So hey, they want to change us to home. We gotta maybe go to home-based businesses. It's all good. Everything has changed for the sake of business owners like yourself. So let's get started, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like one of the things that's super relevant is right now there's a lot of people that are going into anything from direct sales to just trying to figure out what one of their hobbies are that they can turn into like a hustle, or what they can turn into an actual business. So I think in context of the pandemic or World 2.0 and people, working from home, they've really kind of understood the importance of having multiple channels of income. And
Correct.
I think, a lot of people, like myself included, my hesitation was, oh my goodness, I don't know if this hobby is going to be big enough to pay my rent. And
Right.
so that was one of my barriers of entry before wanting to take that leap and investing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of it was,
Okay.
self-esteem, but a lot of it was the being pragmatic and how do I understand what is the market? How do I understand what is a need? I mean, I know it was a
Yes.
problem that I was solving for myself. So if I have the
Exactly.
problem, it should be a problem for everyone else. So
Exactly.
maybe if we start like step number one, if we have something that we're very passionate about, what are some questions that we should be asking ourselves in order to even figure out if it's something that could be adapted and accepted by the market?
Okay, so let's start here. So my old business mentor, who taught me everything I know, He once told me, he said, Christine, if you can't make money off of it before putting money into it, don't turn it into that. It's not gonna, unless you have the time from a 9 to 5 to everything else, just know that before you come up with a business plan or a business model or spend any money, just see if you can sell it. If you can sell, you can turn your passion into profit. Everyone needs all types of different services.
Yeah.
Make a list. Make a list of what you're good at. Is it going to be, am I going to put enough time into it to where I can keep up a market, a certain market of, maybe you want to sell t-shirts. Who am I going to sell t-shirts to? Do I talk to enough people? Do I know how to sell anything? Can I sell a pen? Can I sell this? So turning your passion into profit is, just figuring out, just because you love it doesn't always mean it's going to make you money. There's a lot of things we love that don't make us money. So you have to start there. Is it going to be enough for me to maybe ditch an extra 2 hours outside of work to put into this? Because I'm investing not only in a business, but I'm investing in myself. But it's also a risk. You have to be a risk taker too. Let me say that. I should have said that first. When it comes to being a successful business owner, become a risk taker. It's going to be, maybe you have to put,
calculated risk.
huh? Calculated risk.
risk.
Yes, calculated risk. Now
Smart
that
about
we're,
it.
yes, be smart about it, but just know that it's not going to be like, oh, overnight I come up with my hobby and I put it online and it works. Oh, no. You have to go out there and be willing. Are you willing to even run a business?
Yeah.
What's your time like? Those are questions you have to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the support? It's a lot of women who may have children, husbands. We balance work life all day long, and we don't even take a look up to adjust our crowns. So are you able to, put in the work for it?
Yeah.
Do you love it enough to be like, hey, I think I can put this out there and put my name on it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I think it's very important, because when you talk about, can you make money before putting in money, that to me speaks on so many different levels, specifically because, I mean, I grew up with dogs, right? And I wanted to get a dog, but I don't have a space for a dog, and my lifestyle is not
correct.
conducive for it.
Right.
And
Me
so for, and
either.
so for me, I'm just like, why would I trouble myself, or, trouble a dog?
Your finances. You're going to trouble your finances too,
I
because
mean, that it's everything. So it's not a burden, because dogs are amazing. But then for me, I was just like, okay, I want to hang out with dogs, but I don't want to have my own, because I can't right now. So how can I
exactly.
make this happen? I became a dog walker.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
rather than, go and,
Which is a business. There you go. Look at that.
well,
Just
and
your
here's the
love for
funny thing
dogs.
though,
A business.
because like, rather than go ahead and start my own, get my name cards and all the other stuff and make flyers, you can do it cheap. But I decided to interview with WAG and Rover. So I got on their platforms, and then I was like testing it out, and I was like, all right, cool. And I was making, anywhere between 600 and 800 bucks a week. So it was,
Cool.
okay, and I think that's okay, because I feel like that's,
That is okay. But see, you came up with C before, and you didn't even notice what you were doing when you
no.
decided that your love for dogs. You
No, I got
simply came up
excited.
with
I got excited. I was like, yes, let me play with your dog.
yeah, but you came up with a business plan in your head. You
Yeah.
were like, hold on, okay, I got to start here. But my love for dogs created a business model that may be very beneficial to a lot of people right now. They'll pay for their pets. So, so with that being said, like, you just automatically, okay, let me test this out first, because if I can make enough income off this, it can maybe replace this, and that. So you took a risk there. You went out and you was like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours doing this and doing that, and you saw the outcome. Now, is your question is, if you love doing it because you love dogs, is that a business model? Is that something that you would like to turn into a business?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a perfect monetizing my self-care. So for me, it was very much just continue enjoying your regular lifestyle. You can dip in and out. It started off as, this is just going to pay for my groceries. And then I was like, wait a second. My business mentors were just like, it's viable if you can, and you can consider it legitimate if you can pay your rent.
Exactly.
And so like that
If
was
you
the
can play
threshold.
your
For
rate,
my
yep.
mentors, that was the threshold. They were just like, no, that's a hobby. It's not a business if you can't pay your rent. And so I was like, okay, got you. I'm gonna make this work. And then later on it ended up being so interesting, because I'm still on those platforms, but I get to cherry pick, which jobs I want to
Right.
take. And it's interesting enough, because enough people saw me walking around that other people were asking me, yo, like, we're gonna go on holiday. We see you walking dogs all the time. Are you available? Because it would be like last minute. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get into a kennel.
Yep.
And so I was able to work it out. You know, it took a while, but I was able to work it out where 50% of my life was living in other people's houses. I was like, how awesome is
And
that?
that's it.
I don't have to pay to go on holidays.
Yep.
I was like, I'm staying in other people's houses. I'm taking care of their animals. I'm scratching that itch of having a dog without actually having a dog. And people are
That's
paying me
true.
to do this. Give me your internet password. I can do anything
Exactly.
on here. I'm good. And people thought I was
Right.
crazy, but it was just like, I'm literally getting paid to sleep in other people's houses and play with their dogs. Like, how awesome is
How
that?
awesome is that? It's a
And so,
great
I mean,
business
like, and
model.
I share that to kind of illustrate on how there is no business that is too big or too
Greater than the
small.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
no
I feel like
business
a lot
greater
of
than the
people
other.
they just want to go like this has to be like a Fortune 100 idea. I'm like it doesn't need to be like $1 million idea in the beginning. You can
Right.
eventually, but just start somewhere that's manageable and then make sure that you enjoy it because energy is everything. And when you enjoy it,
Yes, it's everything.
things just happen.
Yep. If you have that motivation to put those hours in, most entrepreneurs don't know this, but new entrepreneurs, 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first year of being
Really?
in business. And yes, 8 out of 10. So if you make it past the first year with the business model, you're pretty good. However, good idea, good pat on the back. But hold on, the IRS does not see you as a business until you've been in business 3 to 5 years.
I know, just from a housing perspective, like people
Mm-hmm.
won't let you
So
run
they
your
consider it a hobby. Yeah,
unless
so
you
they
got 3
consider
years
a
of
hobby.
taxes.
Yeah, the IRS considers it a hobby, and so they, then they're gonna really start
Okay.
taxing the hell out of you. Like, okay, yeah, so got to bring some real money now because you got to pay them. But yeah, I think that's the thing with turning your, it just because you love it does not, mean that it's something you can, make money off of. But make sure you enjoy it enough to where you're able to say, hey, I can do the 9 to 5 here. I mean, first starting out when I first started running my own business, before I started running my own business, I was working for 2 CEOs who, like I said, taught me everything in business development. We worked 17, 18 hours a day in just different, and you wouldn't even notice that you're doing that.
Yeah.
But you wake up at 6 a.m., you grab coffee. Coffee is probably like the only thing you got to eat until lunchtime. And then I'm like, look, my brain is getting fried. I cannot take in any more client information. I can't look at contracts. I don't want to see anything.
Right.
Feed me.
Yeah.
And then we'll get right back in it. But we were working on marketing strategies. I mean, it's part of being a new business owner. You got to put in those hours because learning systems, learning MailChimp, learning how are you going to get emails out? How are you going to market? What are you going to sell?
I
What
mean,
platform are you going
that's
to
like,
sell it?
$100 here, $300 there. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oh
Like,
my God,
is
those
this even
platforms are
necessary?
horrible. Are horrible. But I'm gonna tell you something. The platforms are. I mean, not that they're not horrible. They just take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to learn everything, especially when you have to know your accounting. You're gonna have to know that. You're gonna have to know where your financial reports. You're gonna have to, keep up with your sales. Are you making more money than you're putting in, or what's your return on investment for your business? So I
So,
think
so,
that's a
so
good.
basically, if we're going to be starting something on the cheap, so say like people have an idea, they've realized that they can actually make a little bit of money off of this, but they want to do it thrifty, like alligator arms. They're just like, I want to do this in the most efficient, affordable way possible.
Thrifty. Okay.
So you probably have to have, depending on what it is, you should seek like legal advice to make sure that you're covered from that perspective. But once you establish, do you have to have a bookkeeper? Like when you're doing your taxes and stuff, is that something you can do on your own, or is it a requirement that you have to have somebody do that for you?
Well, that depends on the structure of the company. So
Okay.
that would be in your second step after finding out what your hobby is. See if
Mhm.
you're gonna make it. That's your idea. Put your idea on paper. Then you're gonna say, how do I want to set up the company?
Okay. What are the different
That's
options?
where LLC, which is a limited liability
I
company.
had one of those
That's
in
where
Singapore.
yeah, a C corp and an S corp.
Okay. C corps and S corps. I was helping somebody harmonize and merge all their companies, and they had a whole bunch of S corps, and it was a little bit of a logistical nightmare from
Yeah.
a tax perspective, and so it wasn't very easy. So if somebody is just kind of getting set up, I know some of them you have to have like a board of directors, and you have to have all these different things. What is the easiest way for like an individual? Like, can you do a sole proprietary?
I would start off if you're not sure if you like look at your oh that should have been the second one. Look at your funds.
Mhm.
Put out set a budget for your funds. hey, what you want to do? I just want to set up a website. I just want to sell a few t-shirts as that, do that. And then secondly, you want to you can just get a business license. It's like, I know in Tennessee, it's like $35. That allows you to say, hey, at the state, I have been doing business as this person. The only downfall to that is that's tied to your social security number.
Yeah.
So whatever you're selling, if you want to go cheap, you got to be careful with what type of clients you have. Anything, you're putting yourself at liability when you just become a sole proprietor. But for the first 30 to 60 days, I would say either if you're for sure about your business model and you got the money to put in the company and start it right up and to take that risk of putting more money in and setting up everything, go for it. Go ahead and set up the company, which is the charter, like a LLC, a C Corp, or S Corp. S Corps and C Corps are much cheaper, depending on which state you're in. Yeah. But LLCs cost a little bit more money. So as far as that, just for someone who just wants to start and see if the idea can turn into some money, I would just say getting a business license, doing a small bank account.
Yeah.
Something simple, just a personal account, and using as many free services online that you can, as far as like building your website. Like I know GoDaddy.
You can get a GoDaddy account for like 99 cents.
Yeah, you can get a GoDaddy, depending on the name. Hold up, depending on the name of your business too. You got to do a naming convention. I know with my clients, when I do onboarding, I make sure before we even come up with a name, before I even incorporate them, yeah. I say, hey, come up with a name. Let's do a search, because if somebody else has it on down the line, if you start making millions, that person can come back and say, hey, I own this company. Yeah. You know, because you didn't do the proper research. Do your research to your business model. That would be a first thing. Do your research. Who likes buying t-shirts? Yeah. You know, just, you know, Facebook is a good way to start. I mean, honestly, I don't really like Facebook like that personally, but business-wise, it's a great way to start. Yeah. If you have people that you're like, hey guys, if I was to do this, would you guys buy it? You know, what type of stuff do you like? You know, it depends on what's your entertainment level. Yeah. Is to which, you know, turning your hobby into a profit, your passion into a profit, for real. If you're a good social media person, hey, figure out how to sell it on there. If you're a good face-to-face person, cool. I can say that when I was training in business, my first couple of years, I was just through into sales. Mm-hmm. And I was the one closing all the deals. And I mean, they were like $5,000 to $10,000 deals at a time. And I was like, I can't do this. What the hell? I'm not a closer. We call it a closer. So it's like, okay, you got it. But I had to put in 300 calls, yeah, to sole proprietors and business owners on a daily level. Wow. But I had to put in that work. I had to cold call them, get hung up on, and be like, hey, would you buy my product? And like, no, I don't want your product. Bye. Yeah. You're selling credit. Get out of here. Bye. I'm like, hey, but it can help you. It can really freaking help you. Just give me 10 minutes. So you have to be willing, like I said, to put in the hours, put in the work, do your research. For someone on a budget, I would say take opportunity to get as many free services out there. Everything that you could possibly. The reason why I said do your research before you start spending money is because you want to know where to buy the products that you're trying to sell. You want to know, do I need a website to do this? That's where, you know, maybe a business consulting comes in. You know, plenty of consultants like myself, I do my first consultation call with clients just to see their business model and listen to what they really want to do. How much money do you want to make? Do you want to make $1,000 a month? Do you want to make $10,000 a month? Do you want to see $1 million in a year? What are your money goals? And then I just basically walk backwards from there. I've had clients tell me that they only want to make $100,000 a year. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I don't need to like push too much in sales and marketing for you, because this way of not having to pay for anything, just by word of mouth, you can make your client, you know, you can make your monetary goals every month without having to spend extra money in marketing services. Yeah. So I would say that your budget off of what you putting money in, like Google AdWords, Yelp listings, Yellow Pages, all of that, things that you want to feel like you want to be listed on, and just all those services that they try to get you to pay for to do marketing for your company. A lot of that stuff is also free. Yeah. You know, a lot of it is free. A lot of those options are free. It's just about, are you able to set it up correctly? If you don't feel like you're the person that needs to do the admin work and you can't do that, and you can't find nobody to help you do it, pay somebody to do it, because you can set up a company wrong and you'll be then come tax year, you're like, why the hell am I not making, why, I mean, excuse my language, sorry,
True.
why, what's going
This is
on? You're
this
going to
is
still
true.
have to pay them regardless because
This is
you've been
true.
making money off of it.
Yeah. I
So
feel like
I would say do your research,
I feel like
on.
you have to have like that balance. You have like the creative and then you have the business.
Hmm.
And
You
then
have to be creative
so a
because
lot of
in business, you got to always recreate yourself
well, so like
every time.
yeah, so like, for example, if you have like the creative like mindset people,
Hmm.
usually they're like in create mode, and so they're really not good at
As
execution.
admin, they're not. No, they're
Forget about
not. They're
it.
not
Forget about
good
it.
at
They're
doing
like, no.
that.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
surrounded by a lot of creatives and I love them to bits, but I would not be in business with any of them. They drive me absolutely batty. No, could not do it.
Right.
I can see you on Sunday afternoon. We can have a meal together. We can catch up every couple of months. I'm not doing
Right.
business with you. Because for me, I'm very business minded. And so for me, integrity is number one. You can always
Yes.
figure it out. You can always be creative. But for me, it's no. Once you lose your word, it doesn't matter how
Yeah.
creative you are for the business.
That's
No one's going
true.
to work with
That
you.
is very true.
And so I think like there's two different types of people. So for me, it's understand yourself. And so understand, like for me to do a dog walking business, I don't really need a whole lot of creative aspect, but I need a lot of
Exactly.
execution because if you don't show up,
Exactly.
they're not gonna let you do anything.
Exactly.
But then
Yes.
if I'm working with say fitness because I also do group fitness. When the gym shut down, I made a pivot to do everything online. So I've got over 450 classes. So from that, I actually need to tap into my creative side. I'm just like, all right, what do people want to hear? What do people want to do? What time do
Right.
people want to, yes, okay, find business for strategy. But at the same time, it's like, how do I cut through the noise? How do I make myself different from everyone else? And so it's like, it's finding that.
That's where that niche comes in. That's when you go into your office or your room where you feel like you're about to lose everything and you say, what the heck? Get it together, put on some lipstick, put on some heels, and make it happen. What can I do that like
Boss up,
that
boss
people need?
up.
Boss up. You have to boss up because like I said, you have to like put on your big girl panties too. Because I know when I first started my business, it was not easy. I got rejected a lot. I lost a
It's
client.
not
It
personal.
hurt
It's
my
not
feelings.
personal. A lot
It's
of
not
people take it
personal.
personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. But I was just like, man, what can I do better next time? Or what can I do this? Or maybe I should have went this route. So I had to reinvent myself over and over and over. I've owned a trucking company. I've owned a business development company, a SEO company. So it's just like, and now I'm doing executive administration and coaching. So it's like, you got to always figure out all those were different markets though. I have clients where I run them through my class and I'm like, look, what do you want to do? Because I can put you in this market, you can be in this market, you can be in this market. This market is going to take a lot of extra money, like trucking. A trucking company is not easy to start. You're going to spend a lot of money doing that, but you get a lot
Trucks
of
are
money in
not
return.
cheap unless you get the little
Yeah, they're
ones
not.
that you can't fit inside. They're not cheap.
But imagine, I mean, all the costs that come with it.
Yeah,
Incorporating the company,
true.
3 months after the company is even incorporated, you can't even drive the vehicle because your authority with the state isn't even active yet. So that's 3 months of truck sitting. You got to have the trucks ready for 3 months. Your truck has to sit. So that's just come to show you like this. You gotta. That's why I said do your research on your company. Do your research. Look at competitors. See who offers the product that you want to sell. Get on their website. Research them like crazy.
So
Everything,
basically, if you're a
YouTube,
creative person, you
everything.
got to get somebody with a business mind, or you got to hire Christine because she's going to be able to be like, all right, let's
Right,
go, let's
right,
go,
right.
let's
I
like
mean,
rattle that cage,
yeah,
let's get some
yeah,
execution,
of
get
course,
it
of
done.
course. Because when people come to me, this is the thing that I like. I don't do with like other consultants like maybe do. I'm not gonna force you into what I think you should be doing. I can give you a plan. I can give you a strategy. I can tell you how to make millions. I can tell you how to make 10 grand. I can tell you how to make $1. Okay, I can go anywhere from those ranges, millions, whatever. However, if you're not ready for that mentally, it's no point in us, doing that because it's like trying to teach. It's like talking to a brick wall. I
Feed a
catch
horse
whoever's
to
business
water,
is
but
in
you
front of me, and
can't
I'm
make
like,
it drink.
I can't make you drink. I can tell you how to make the money, sis. It's out there. It is out there. But
Absolutely.
you got to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah,
Some nights you
absolutely.
want to get into bed and go to sleep. Nope, you got to work on email campaigns to send out tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Customers are not always going to be happy with you.
Yeah.
They you gotta be you have to be the owner, the CEO, the assistant,
Yeah.
the person who answers the phone. You have to do your sales yourself. Unless you're going to hire someone for all of these roles, a successful owner will know, like, okay, look, if I can do the simple things myself, like when I first started, I was like, okay, I can do the, I can do the administrative work. But then I was like, okay, if I'm on sales calls trying to get clients, those people hang up. You gotta make at least 100 cold. Like, it's 80-20 rule when you're doing sales. 80% of it is just calling and trying to connect with someone. 20% of them maybe close a deal with you.
Yeah.
So all while trying to process paperwork because I just got a new client and I'm like, okay, I'm working on this and I'm working on that. And I'm like, okay, look, I need an assistant. No way, I'm gonna get behind
Yeah.
because your model could be don't be afraid to jump out there. Do not be afraid to take a leap
Yeah.
because your business model could be something someone's been looking for the longest. I
Yeah.
honestly wish that I was like, oh, I wish I come up with weird ideas for clients. And that's another thing too. Like, if you can't come up with like a certain idea, I'm gonna help you walk through it. Let's
Yeah.
talk through some stuff. What do you know how to do? Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. I can build a business plan out of just me talking to people. So that's why I was like, I make it fun for you, but I also give it to you real, real.
But
But
that's the only way
yeah,
to do it. I mean, for my coaching business,
I'm gonna push you.
my weakness was my sales cycle. So it would take me a very long time for my sales cycle because my self-esteem was a little bit low. So I wasn't, piss or get off the pot. Because it's like, if
Right,
you're contacting me, obviously you already want to do something with me. So if you want to do
correct.
something with me, then here's the contract. Let's rock and roll. And I wasn't doing that. And so since I wasn't doing that, then it was harming my business. So I hired a personal assistant to help me with my sales cycle. And then after doing that, I was able to decrease my sales cycle from 4.5, 5 weeks to like 10 days because it was
Cool.
just like that wall where people weren't allowed to.
Everybody's not meant to go into sales. Just because you can be an owner doesn't mean you're going to be good at your sales.
I am not good
That's
at
something you may
sales.
have to
I'm not
accent.
good at sales.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
let's just have a
yeah,
chat. It's okay, no problem.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
it's just like, oh wait, I gotta pay
So
my bills. Like,
yeah,
is this a
you got to
formal
yeah,
thing or is this like a casual thing? Because like we need to define
yeah.
this. And then
So that's cost. That's cost. It comes in with that cost. Like,
absolutely,
if you're not good in sales, you got to think about that. Dang it, I got to hire somebody to do this because I'm not good in it. But some
absolutely,
people are out there like that, and there's some CEOs and owners they can't dare do administration. They're like, Christine, you can handle all that. I'm like, huh? They're
yeah,
like, yeah. I'm like,
absolutely,
I'm like, okay, cool. Because he's like, I just want to be in the field working. I got house. I want to use my hands to go build stuff. I don't want to do no paperwork. I don't want to take no phone calls, nothing. So yeah,
absolutely.
I get it.
Absolutely. So I think
So
like
yeah,
I think that's a beautiful kind of like, first blush of everything. So anybody that wants to work with you, number one, we just gave a whole bunch of details on how it's like, all right, how do you evaluate if your idea is, good enough? How do you, like, is this something that you feel really passionate about? How are you going to check the market? How are you going to see like what the demand is? More importantly, are you able to make money before you spend money?
exactly.
Is this
And
something
what
that
does your budget look like to start? Because
and
everyone has to have
exactly
a
what is
budget.
your timeline? What is your budget? Number two is like once you just make those decisions, then okay, let's figure out what type of company you want to do. So then
Mm-hmm.
once you figure out what type of company, this is going to be important for your taxes. This is going to be important for your
Correct.
liabilities. This is going to be important if you're like a physical good thing or if it's a service thing.
Correct.
So these are just different things to
Right.
kind of think about. No answers yet, but just things to think about. And
Correct.
then this is when you call Christine because Christine will help you do the strategy and then make sure
Yeah,
you
I
have.
be I I help build the foundation. The foundation. A lot of people can go to. I tell you this too. A lot of people can say, "Oh, I can go on website and see everything you do." I'm like, "Yeah, you can." Not knocking you do it, but if you do it wrong, I'm gonna charge you extra when you come back and you mess it up, and I gotta correct it. So it's better just to hire what you don't know how to do. It's a lot of stuff that's not my lane.
Yeah.
Like I can easily get into sales, but I rather pay my assistants to do the sales. I'm not gonna, some stuff I had to learn my lane. Learn your lane
But
in
that's what
business.
I love about you because I feel like there's a lot of people that are just a little bit like stingy and they're just like whatever to turn a buck. But
Oh yeah.
the reason why I like you and the reason why you're part of like my sisterhood that I'm like celebrating and everything today is
Cool.
because of your
Thank you. I
honesty.
appreciate it.
I think that integrity is so difficult to come by these days. And so the
It
fact that
is.
you're just like, no, this is what I'm good at and this is what you're going to pay me for. This is not something
Exactly.
that I'm good at or want to do. So this is who I'm going to refer you to. Or if it's
Exactly.
within my bucket, this is something that I have knowledge of, but these are the people that are going to do it. So it's just
Exactly.
like the fact that you're very transparent with that, I think is very important and very powerful, especially for people that are just starting out because Lord knows, like, I mean, People can
It
sniff
gets
that out.
tricky,
There's like,
and
"Oh, you're a new
people,
business
and
owner?
oh yeah,
Pay
when
for
you
this,
get
pay
it.
for this, pay for this." And
Mhm.
like, "No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good."
yeah. Well, I help people with their costs. Like, I'm gonna tell you whether you should spend 40 grand on a refrigerator or you should spend 40 grand on this building that's gonna make you money versus this.
Absolutely.
I coach through all financial situations prior to doing them. If it's a question I can't answer, trust me, I'm gonna refer you to the right person. And I'm glad you mentioned integrity because that's a big thing. Also, I would like to, make something clear to, new business owners. If you cannot make, appointments and keep up with a schedule in the beginning and what, basically a system that's going to keep you on track alone,
Yeah.
then you may need to consider, looking at a different option for that because once you stand a client up or something like that, it could ruin your business. It can ruin your reputation.
Yeah.
And just keeping those time, keeping in mind that you're asking them to spend money with you, to trust you. You're asking them to first trust you, for you to trust them, and then to trust the process.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to ask from someone who knows no idea who you are.
Yeah.
Imagine getting on the phone and asking a person that you've never met in person virtually, hey, I need the $5,000 check. You
Yeah.
can wire it to this account, and they trust you to do that. So that's where my integrity comes from. I would never take someone money and be like, oh, what are those? No. If it's, I don't play with the IRS. Don't get into a business if you think you're gonna play with the IRS because once you put your name on any company documents, it is yours, sis. Don't play. Do not play. Do not play.
You could do 100
Now,
things right and they'll ignore you. The one thing you do wrong,
yes,
they're gonna come hunt you
yes,
down.
and it will hunt you down. You will never see taxes again. You will never see business income. Nobody's going to want to open you bank accounts. So I tell people, I've specialized in the business credit industry. So when I'm giving financial advice as to how to build a legitimate business credit file, business, credit file for your company alone, I make sure to tell them, I'm like, look, when I get you these accounts, you can't default on them,
Yeah.
because they're going to come after your business.
Yeah.
It's not personal. They're coming after you business wise, but I don't want you to default because I'm sending you to them. I'm giving you knowledge about a client or a vendor that's going to give you $10,000 in credit or 1,000 or whatever. And they're trusting to only go off of your business alone. They don't, require a lot of socials and stuff. So I tell them in my initial phone call, I'm like, look, if you're that type of person that likes to get over on people and steal, we're not going to do that. You're not going to get these accounts, rack up debt, and then it falls back on me. So that's where integrity comes in. Like, if you're not ready to do that, then don't get into a lot of things when it comes to business. Once you tie your name to something, it is yours.
So
And
basically what we're saying in short is only integrity type business hustlers out there need a
yes,
plan. I mean, if you're
yes,
trying to go
yes.
into like the gray market or any of that other stuff, you can kind of bumble around on your own.
Yeah, if you're
But
not ready to be a real hustler, because businesses, it takes hustle. It's 6 a.m., 4 a.m., long nights, early mornings. It takes that hustle. It takes that hustle when you girl where you're gonna be drinking on coffee for just like a week straight with no sleep. But you got great clients. That's a good thing. Be grateful that you have great clients because we get all that.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so I would just say, like, turning a passion into profit, just make sure that you really are ready to do this because if you want a successful business to last longer than a year, or to even just, it doesn't matter if it does last longer than a year. If you're not making money off of it and making any money back, is not that good anyway.
Right.
Just taking your time and just analyzing what it is you really want.
Absolutely.
So
So
yeah, I
what's the
would say
best way? What's the best way? So like everyone that's gonna watch this video, once they fall in love with
that.
you and they understand exactly what you're
Oh wow.
about, what is the easiest way for them to contact you?
You can do phone or email.
Okay, I will make sure that
Phone or
all of those
email.
details are in the banner and also in the bio.
Cool.
And we're so grateful. So, Christine, thank you so
Thank
much for being
you.
part of the International Women's Day.
Thank you,
You are my
Jess. I'm
go-to. I mean, I've
glad.
already told you this before. I'm like, yo, Christine, I got a thing. Like, what do I do
All
about this?
right,
Like,
let's figure
and
this
you're good.
out.
So, like, from experience, like, I love you, and I'm so proud
Thank
of you.
you. Oh, I'm wonderful.
Welcome
You're
again to
wonderful.
Chicago, and we got to do dinner sooner than later. So
We do.
whenever you have time, like you're always welcome to my place of rest and my place
Thank
of
you for
creation.
allowing me to your sanctuary, your mikasa.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'll get this posted up for everyone to see. And thank you so
Wow,
much.
thank you. Infinity Business Solutions, cool. Thank you, Jess. You're wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this day to get some knowledge, drop the mic, all of that. Let's get it, women. You can do it. What you think is what you do. So just keep it going, ladies, and everyone have a peaceful day around the world. Bye.
Absolutely.